Hello everybody, Crypto Chaperone here, and today I'm going to take a quick look at the markets that are, looking definitely better than they've been looking the last 2 days. And I'm also going to be talking about some news of cryptocurrencies that have been happening in the past couple days since I haven't been making a ton of videos. I just kind of came out with a video yesterday real quick, and I kind of missed a couple things I wanted to talk about in it. So it's pretty early in the morning still, so I'm still going to be kind of raspy at the moment. But, a lot of things going on in cryptocurrency, and I probably won't make a video tomorrow or Sunday. So this will probably be my last video till Monday. So I just kind of wanted to get some of this news out. Our market cap has grown massively over the past 24 hours. It was sitting at last night about $654 billion, and now it's sitting at $723 billion. So we've seen about $70 billion come into the market in about 14 hours since I made my last video, which is definitely good for cryptocurrencies because the reason that a lot of this money was being pulled out of the market was due to the Korean ban bill that was attemptively getting passed in Korea. So from there, essentially, a lot of people just kind of have been talking about that there is no finalized bill and there's no timeline due on how soon this bill potentially would be able to be signed and put into effect. So, a lot of people were freaking out for no reason, just kind of like how you have all these other news events that kind of spike and then the markets dip. And then when the real facts about the news actually come out, that it's not as serious as people thought to begin with, then the markets start to recover and even start to go a little higher than they first did. So that's why I try to tell everybody, hold your coins and don't be in that fear stage when you start to see all these markets dipping. Just more due to the fact that it's always going to grow back up and go back up unless there's like some sort of major regulation like the United States and the whole European Union decide to regulate cryptocurrencies and make them illegal. Then you might see some sort of a fall for a little bit of a time in some bearish markets. But just some small information about like cryptocurrency attempting to get a bill into effect to ban cryptocurrencies. That's just a very short term. There's no real solid support information behind that. Nothing's been signed yet. So there's no reason why these markets would take a complete collapse. And I think what happened was just a lot of whales and big people who believe in this space long term more or less and believe in the profits that are in here just took advantage of that dip and bought everybody's weak hands, and now they are sitting definitely good in these green markets because if you scroll through here, we're only seeing a few dabbles of red every so often, and they're only red in like the 5 and 10%, which essentially 10% can be bad, but on some of these tokens they've been going up 15, 20%, 30%, doubling even over the past week or two. So seeing red for 10 or 15%, even over the past 2 days, that's why I was telling you guys, don't freak out, don't sell your cryptocurrencies, because it's going to recover. And we've got a massive influx of wealth coming in. You have tax season coming. Institutional money is trying to get into this. So you're going to have a ton of people putting money into this space. And that's why everybody, including myself, thinks that this space is going to grow massively over the first quarter of 2018. And the rest of 2018 as well, because once it starts to grow, a lot of people are going to continue to put their money into it because they're going to see the benefits and the profits that are coming out of it. Now, we are also going to see bear markets aside from that, and we're going to see these big dips and stuff because you have to understand, if people are putting in 5, 10, 20, 30, 50% of their life savings, essentially, maybe even more than that, then there's no reason why these big whales aren't going to try to shake the markets and make these people afraid. Because if you've got your life savings in here and you essentially have the potential to lose 20% real quick, 30% if you don't trade it right, there's a lot of people who are going to pull that out and just accept their profits. And even if it is just a quick dip or something like that, it's going to be a great place for whales to profit. So that's why I keep telling you people, hold on to your coins. Don't be afraid. If you do want to sell your coins, set yourself a personal goal for like a limit of what you want that coin to go to, and then sell when it gets to that limit, or sell certain portions of that coin. Don't sell it all at once. There's always a lot of room to be made, and I've learned over time, definitely holding is the better way to make profit. I've held coins, I've held hundreds of thousands of coins that at the time were cheap, and now at the time they're up to multiple dollars. So I mean, that would have been an easy $1 million profit right there. But aside from that, you're still making good profits, and you're still keeping up with your personal goals that you have. As long as you can do that, you're still doing well, and there's no reason to kind of look back and worry about past trades that you've made and things that you've lost profit on, as long as you're doing well and you think that you're doing well personally. So Bitcoin's kind of consolidated around $14,000, which is kind of nice. It was down in the $12,000 and $13,000 range for a while, and now it's actually showing a little bit of sign of growth, and a lot of people are starting to think that this is the bottom, and this might be the bottom of the V, and it might start trending upward now and have a little bit of a breakout. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. I'm sure all the news is sort of all this Korean news is sort of digested into the markets by now. So we're going to see a recovery, and I don't think the Korean news is going to have much more effect unless they actually pass an actual ban or sign some sort of bill into effect. So other than that, our markets are looking very good. You have Stellar, which is sitting up at 38% up today. EOS is also sitting at 35%. EOS has had a ton of news coming out for it. I haven't been keeping too much up on the news about EOS. I've been keeping up on the news about Salt a decent amount. Salt has been, they've decided to add Ethereum collateralized loans, I think in March. They're opening up their whole platform and everything. They're doing conferences and stuff in the upcoming months. They've got a lot of stuff going on. So if you're looking into a collateralized cryptocurrency loan, meaning that you can put up your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, and things like that, and in return you can get fiat cash, and over time you'll be able to pay back the loan that you got, and you'll be able to get the exact amount of cryptocurrencies that you put up for collateral if you pay off the loan. You also have to take into effect if Bitcoin does drop, or whatever coin you have put up for collateral, that some of that coin will be liquidated to pay off the margins of the price that it did drop. So if Bitcoin, you did put it in at $20,000 and it dropped down to 10 grand, essentially it's going to liquidate some of your Bitcoin holdings to pay off the person who you took the loan from. So it could be bad depending on if you take your loan out at a high point of the markets, but you do have to put in an extra, I think, 25% of cryptocurrency above what you do get out as a collateral loan. So you'd have to put in $10,000 of Bitcoin to get $7,500, or you'd have to put in $12,500 of Bitcoin to get $10,000 of cash, or however you want to do it. So depending if you guys are interested in that, it would definitely be something I'm interested in and something that I'm going to be getting into real soon. I just haven't had the time to get into it lately. But, you know, over the next couple weeks, I'll probably dabble into that. I did sign up to get a loan, but I haven't even gone onto the platform lately to check if I did get approved for it or anything like that. So I'll be checking that out soon. Something else I want to talk to you guys about is KFC in Canada is now accepting Bitcoin, and they actually have a Bitcoin bucket. Now, from what I read, essentially you're going to have to buy this bucket and they're going to send it to you. So I don't think you're actually buying this directly at the KFC. It says you're going to check out and they're going to ship it to you, and it costs $5 to actually get it shipped. So I don't know if there's it's made at the KFC and they have someone deliver it, or it's being sent from a warehouse. I don't know how KFCs in Canada work. I've never heard of someone buying a bucket of KFC chicken and it getting sent to them, but essentially it's the KFC bucket, and it's going to be run through BitPay. Now, BitPay is a middleman processor, which essentially they'll accept the Bitcoins that people pay with, and they'll give the KFC in Canada the equivalent amount of cash for whatever they sell. So it's definitely pretty cool. KFC is owned by the Yum Corporation, and Yum also owns things like Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, other things like that. And essentially what could happen over time is they might start to implement this through other restaurants. And they do own, those are some pretty big restaurants. Aside from like Wendy's and McDonald's and stuff, owned other big fast food places. KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, they own all of those. They also acquired, I think back in like 2002, like A&W and Long John Silver's and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of public food places here that could potentially have this implemented. I'm sure they're just doing this as kind of like a beta testing area and seeing how it goes from there. And they might actually implement this in as being a payment processing technique that they use like with BitPay in their actual restaurants, and people could go in and actually pay for their meals in the restaurant with cryptocurrencies. So that would be pretty cool in the long run. And the fact that they do own a bunch of other brands and stuff like that, and a bunch of other companies, more or less, is that they could get these out into other companies, and it would be able to help spread as well to other places, because, where you don't have a KFC, you might have a Taco Bell. Where you don't have a Taco Bell, you might have a Pizza Hut or an A&W or a Long John Silver's. So it definitely opens up the place to spread out the idea and the everything about cryptocurrencies, more or less. So something else I want to talk to you guys about is, I'm sure you heard about it, was the Kodak coin that's going to be coming out. Now, Kodak, I'm sure everybody knows, it is a camera brand. And essentially what they want to do is they want to create their own blockchain where artists can put their photos and everything on, and they'll be able to retain their own creative rights for their own images and stuff that they take. And from there, they'll be able to potentially sell their works and everything like that on the platform for cryptocurrencies. And that would be pretty cool, because it'd kind of be like a Shutterfly situation where it'd be like, if you wanted to use their art or something like that, you would just be able to go out and make a microtransaction and pay for, one picture or something directly to the artist. You wouldn't have to worry about a different platform buying their work or stealing their work, or somebody else stealing their work and selling it and making a profit from it or something like that, because it would all be validated on the blockchain. It would be all authentic. You would know what artist made what piece and stuff like that. And it would help all individual artists keep their own rights and get all their actual profits and royalties from their drawings and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty cool. I think it's definitely cool in the aspect of it's a big company that a lot of people are familiar with, and just the fact that it kind of has to do with photographers and art and stuff like that. And you haven't had very many cryptocurrencies kind of go into the photography and art world. You've had cryptocurrencies dabble in sports and gambling and video games in the financial area, but you haven't really had many kind of reach out into the art area and people who are interested in those kinds of things like photography. And you've had kind of like videos and things that want to work with cinematography or cinema or whatever. But aside from that, I mean, it's just like, it's a new niche in the space, and I'm sure it'll get a lot more people interested in cryptocurrencies that weren't interested before. So, it's definitely something cool to look into if you guys want to invest in it. I'm not sure what their requirements are, if they have any KYC going on, if they've got any restrictions of who can't apply or something like that. I'm not even sure what their hard cap is for their sale. But if you do want to take part in it, I think it's at the end of January that it's going to be going on. So you could take a look at their, you can Google KodakCoin or whatever and take a look at their site and see. I clicked on it here, but then you have to go and click your language and everything, and I don't want to really look into it. I'm not sure if I'm going to invest, but definitely something interesting if you are interested in art and stuff like that. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about today is Binance. Now, I'm sure a lot of you trade on Binance. I personally have moved over to Binance. I moved from Bittrex. Bittrex has been having a ton of problems. I did make a video of how to use Bittrex exchange, and when I made that video, I was not running into any problems. And then I started to see a bunch of people, even prominent YouTubers, were starting to have some problems. So I decided to not take any chances with my money, pulled all my money out of there, and any money that I am willing to trade around on exchanges, I've moved it into Binance. Binance, it's a great platform, more or less, and the reason that I wanted to talk about it was because they kind of set a record over the past couple days. They had 240,000 new registrants sign up on their site within 1 hour, which is crazy. That means that every minute 40,000 people were signing up to their site, it's amazing. That's crazy. That's like 800 people a second were just signing up, and that was when they finally opened up their new registration. After they had it closed, they were updating their servers and everything. They were just getting so many users on their site that they couldn't keep up with it, and the site was essentially crashing, as I talked about. If you were trying to buy or sell Tron or Ripple when they were hitting some of their high points, the site was essentially freezing and you were unable to do anything. You would load the page, and then the page would become unresponsive. You'd have to open up a new tab, and you could load other pages, but the pages that had a lot of people loading them, like Tron and Ripple and coins that were really booming and were kind of seeing their peak, and people were trying to sell and take their profit. Kind of the same thing you see on Coinbase and GDAX when you have a lot of people that are trying to sell their Ether or Litecoin when it spikes up randomly. You just have a lot of server issues. So they did upgrade their servers. I did see that they upgraded their app. When you open their app, it kind of does like a different loading sequence. So I'm sure that they did some sort of update on that and everything to make everything run a little bit smoother. But essentially, if you are on Binance, they do run a lot of cool things. They run a lot of giveaways. Essentially, they make a shit ton of money. They can give away 2 BMW i8s to people who trade Ven. They gave away like $1 million in Ven tokens to people who were trading with it, and that was just over the past week. They also gave away a Lamborghini for a Monaco trading contest. They gave away a Porsche. They give away pretty much like something every week. They have a trading contest or every 2 weeks, and they give away a ton of stuff because essentially they're making like a 0.5% to like 1% or 0.25% per every trade that you do. So if you're trading $100,000, they're making like $1,000 or $500 or whatnot. So, you know, as you have 1 million people doing this, they're making a lot of money and they can afford to do this. So it's very nice that they are going out of their way to kind of give back to the community and people that are trading on their platform and giving them the opportunity to have all these nice things and grow their platform to be one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges around. And I'm going to be over the next week, hopefully if I come across enough time, I'm going to be making a Binance exchange trading video. So I'm going to show you guys just basically how to go through here, the basics, all that kind of stuff, how to trade, how to withdraw. I am going to say that there is a Binance trading platform kind of video contest going on. So I probably will enter my video in there. Right here, actually, it tells you there's 19 days. So if anybody is on YouTube watching this video and you do want to take part in this, essentially all you have to do is make an instructional video on how to use Binance. And I'm going to definitely enter my video in this because I'm going to try to help you guys out. But why not just try to enter this contest as well in the meantime? Essentially all you have to do is enter this and upload your thing to tell them about your video or something via Twitter. And when you upload it, just make sure that you have, if you are looking to do this, make sure you show how to kind of withdraw, deposit, how to trade. Those are things I'm going to be going over more or less. I'm going to talk to you guys about kind of like all the lines that the chart has to offer, moving average lines, and talk about the candlesticks a little bit. Basically kind of the same things that I talked about on Bittrex. It's all kind of the same stuff, but it's just it's a nice laid out exchange. They do have, if you haven't been paying attention to my videos, every month they have kind of like a community coin of the month where they'll list a bunch of coins and people in the community can vote on which coin they want to get listed onto the exchange. It'll get listed onto the exchange for free based on whichever one gets the most votes, but that is also not the only way that coins can get added onto the exchange. They can get added on pretty much at any time. They can pay a certain fee and get added onto the exchange, or I guess if there is a very big hype going on about it, maybe they'll reduce the fee or put it on even just because they think a lot of people are going to buy the coin and move to their trading platform. So it's definitely a lot of coins that used to hit Bittrex and stuff used to boom when they hit Bittrex, but now it seems like when a coin hits Binance, it's really starting to give it a little bit of a push behind it. So I'm definitely going to be making a video about how to use and trade on the Binance exchange within the next week, hopefully. Definitely to take advantage of that contest. And if you guys do want to trade on Binance, they do offer a lot of cool giveaways and stuff like that. On these giveaways, I do want to point out that you do have to trade sometimes in specifics, like to get the BMW i8 or to be entered in that, you had to trade like 1 Bitcoin of Ven coins, which were essentially VChain. And it's kind of funny that they had this contest with VChain right before VChain was doing its rebranding and stuff like that. And during the whole contest, I'm not going to look for VChain, right? Oh, okay, here it is. So we'll see if there's still these massive accumulation walls. I was talking about in my Telegram channel, and I was tweeting out and stuff like that, that there are some massive, okay, there's still some massive accumulation walls going on. There's about $140,000, $150,000 of buy orders right here. And these walls have been up for about 2 weeks now. And essentially what a buy wall is, I'm not going to go into this real deep, but it's just a big wall put up by people who are trying to accumulate this coin. If any other sells get put up in front of this, they'll essentially just buy the sells up, and they want to keep the coin down at the lowest price they can so they can acquire the most of the coin that they can. So definitely when you see, when you see something like that going on, you definitely know that there is something big in store for that coin. This coin does have a rebranding coming up on the 14th, which is in like a day or two. So normally after rebrandings happen, coins go up a decent amount. So there could be just an accumulation going on for that. And VChain does have a lot of good developments for it. And it's got a lot of partnerships that have been coming out. And these partnerships have not been leading to that big of a price rise. Oh my. But the price has been rising very steadily over the past couple of weeks, kind of like Ethereum, how I talked about yesterday. Ethereum was having very like a nice slight price rise. It wasn't anything too dramatic that was causing people to get scared away or scared into it like they were missing out of something. But essentially, that's kind of how this was. It did have a couple big rises over the past 24, 48 hours, more or less. That did bump it from like the $3 up to, it was over $7 for a little bit. But other than that, I think VChain does have some room for some big growth. I did put a decent amount of money into VChain when it was down to like $1 or $2. So I think it does have the potential just in short term, especially after the rebranding, to go up to 10, 12 plus dollars, maybe even $15 by the end of January. And then I think it could go to $20 to $30 in February. But you also want to take into consideration if you are trading for profits or whatnot. As I talked about, holding on to a coin in long term can be more profitable than attempting to trade. So if you do hold a coin now, or you did buy a coin at your lowest point, it's always probably better to hold on to it. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. This is just stuff that I have, seen time and time again. Personally, these are my own trades that I have seen. I've traded out $10,000 and $20,000 of a trade, and if I would have held on to it, it would have gone up 20, 30 times from that point. And it would have just been smarter and easier and less stressful to just hold on to the coin in the long term instead of risking, moving it from exchange to exchange, wallet to wallet, and all that stuff, when you could have just pulled it out and held your coins in a wallet and not have even had to have worried about it. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. That's all I've got for today. Hold on to your coins, especially now that we've got these green markets coming back. You've got a little bit of clarity about what's going on with the South Korean news, that nothing's actually been pushed through yet. And you've just got a lot of people who are trying to get into this cryptocurrency space. And I think these are still some of the lowest points you're going to see for a while. So if you haven't been buying into cryptocurrencies and you've just been sitting on the side watching, this might be some of your last opportunities to buy, unless you're really paying attention to dips and stuff that are going to be happening throughout the 2018 year, and you're just going to be buying in on these random dips. I think this might be one of your most comfortable chances to buy into cryptocurrencies, especially if you want to just buy and hold. But that's all I've got for you guys today, and I'll be back probably next week with some more videos, hopefully as early in the week as I can get. So I'll talk to you then, guys. I'll see you.